tell us broadly, when the market craters, who is being hurt the most?
I would say it's the people at the bottom rung in terms of affordability that get hit the most because it's all connected. So you could say that if you were to talk about ownership, then condos are the first rung for people to be able to own a home.
That's your first a stepping stone to something else, perhaps.
Precisely, the first stepping stone. Yeah. And what happens in those cases is if people can't afford to get those condos, that means that it's going to go to people who are investors who have more finances to be able to buy them. And what they'll do is they'll rent them out. And so you're seeing a lot of these units becoming rentals and being leased for prices that a lot of Canadians can't afford.
But there are also people who had no intention of moving into these units, and you tell the story of people who bought them purely to flip. What happens with them if they bought thinking, this is a way for me to make a lot of money? The market's flying. It's never going to crash. I can get in here now. What happens to them?
So there's a couple of things that have happened to a lot of people in that situation. One person I interviewed for the article, his name is Nazar. What happened to him is he was given this proposition by a realtor who was referred to him by a friend. The pitch is simple, as you described. You sign a deal to buy a pre-construction condo. And here's the key thing. You flip it, you sell it before construction is completed and before you need to secure a mortgage or close the deal. And so that way, someone like Nazar, who didn't have that much in terms of resources and savings, it gave him an opportunity to actually buy an asset and then make a profit, turn a quick profit. Because when he bought in early 2022, everything was going up, right?
So even if he spent $800,000 on this, he could probably sell it for more before it's finished and he would make a bit of money.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't actually spend $800,000. He only put down the deposit, which was 10%, so around $80,000 on his condo. And what happened in his case was right when he made this deal, the Bank of Canada kind of reversed its course and started raising interest rates. The buyers disappeared. No buyer could be found. And so he got stuck with the condo. He got stuck having to come up with the rest of the money. And he couldn't qualify for a mortgage because he was already tapped out from the savings he plunked down for the deposit. And so he ended up getting sued by the developer.
For almost $1 million.
For almost $1 million.
Saving estate taxes and simplifying an inheritance are just a couple of reasons why people might consider adding an adult child to a property title. Erin Galhouse is an associate with Getz Collins and Associates. She joins us this morning to tell us more. Good morning, Erin.
Good morning.
So this can be a complex topic with a lot of things to consider, but can you just give us some reasons why someone might want to add their adult child to a property title?
Yeah, I mean, on its face, it may appear to have some benefits. It could enable your child to assist with arranging for the maintenance and paying bills associated to the property, should you ever lose the ability to do so. And what also seems to be a very hot button issue right now is that it could help you avoid probate fees. By putting your child on the title of your property, it would pass outside of the court probate process and not be subject to probate.
Interesting, but kind of sets us up for this next question of just what are the risks with making this type of move?
There can be some serious consequences involved with putting your child on title. First of all, I mean, it results in your child becoming the actual legal owner of the property. So this means you're essentially giving up control over one of your biggest assets. Any future sale or refinance of the property would require their consent and their sign-off. It also means that your child could potentially secure debt or loans against the property. If they had any creditors, it allows the creditors to register judgments and liens against title. And even if your child doesn't have any, or they're not in any financial trouble right now, down the road, if they get into financial trouble, it could result in your interest in your property being seriously impacted. And thirdly, I mean, you might also be creating future litigation for your estate, especially if you have multiple children and you only put one of them on title. On your death, it could be unclear whether that specific child that you put on title was meant to inherit the entire property, excluding the siblings, or whether they were simply meant to manage the property, with it then being shared with all the children as joint inheritance. So this lack of clarity could result in a very contentious and expensive litigation down the road. And lastly, adding your child to the title can also carry significant tax consequences, potentially triggering capital gains or creating a gift for tax purposes. So it would be really important to talk to an accountant when considering that type of move.
Taking all of this into consideration, because yes, there's the pros, but there's a lot of other risks associated with this. Just what are the facts? Because I know people want to simplify their inheritance or maybe save on those probate fees. So what would you advise them in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, probate is very different in Alberta than other provinces. So in Alberta, fees for probate are paid out of the estate on a fixed schedule. So this means that they're actually capped at $525 for estates that are worth more than $250,000. And then it decreases accordingly from there. Other provinces actually have probate fees that are a percentage of the estate. So that's where I think it can get quite expensive. And then any type of transfer of title involves land titles fees, which are actually based off the value of your property. Land titles, the current calculation there right now is $50 base fee plus $5 for every $5,000 of the property value. So ultimately, depending on the value of your property, you may end up paying more than what the probate fees that you were actually trying to avoid in the first place.
Lots to take into consideration here. Thanks so much for this, Erin.
No problem.
Thank you for tuning. Please follow my channel for more authentic English content. You're welcome to share, comment, and forward it. This is the end of today's video, and I will see you next time.